Okay, what's going on, everybody? This is my video presentation for my Summer 2023 internship. I interned with UMSL's new esports program that we are starting in the fall of 2023. So as far as an overview of the organization, there's really not a whole lot to tell at this moment. UMSL is starting this esports program in the fall of 2023. We're planning a launch event for the Friday following the start of school. I believe that's August 25th. I will have more details to share with, hopefully, Dr. Valeska and the rest of the class as that approaches. And I still need to get her in contact with my internship coordinator formally so that we can get the word out about the program. But essentially, what we are planning on having right now is 5 main varsity teams for the different video games such as Valorant, Overwatch 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, League of Legends, and FIFA. The FIFA inclusion is not traditionally what most schools would run for esports, but we're including FIFA because we are sponsored by City SC. Although, unfortunately, it looks like EA is dropping their licensing, so we'll see how that all goes down. But as it stands right now, we're still planning on running FIFA. And, of course, the program was created due to our partnership with City. As far as my roles and duties go, my official title is Fighters Community Manager, which means that anything having to do with fighting video games, I am in charge of organizing, planning, making sure that everything's taken care of for events, things of that nature. As far as that is concerned, the fighting games would be things like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Tekken franchise, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and any other fighting games like that, Brawlhalla, if we ever go into communities outside of what I've listed here. I am supposed to engage with and recruit members to our varsity and junior varsity teams, as well as just casual people to come in, sit down. We're supposed to have open hours at the facility once we have it fully set up. It's not fully set up and open to the public, and it won't be until the start of school. But right now we're working on having it ready to be used by people throughout the day, whenever they can come in and play video games. It's pretty much just going to serve as a gaming hub for students at the university, as well as a main hub for tournaments and events. I'm also supposed to organize events such as tournaments. Right now, our launch event for that Friday is supposed to be a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament that I'm in charge of organizing. We are working on trying to just do UMSL students for this first tournament, and then we would like to open up to the public for a tournament either the following week or in the following month. I am also supposed to during open arena hours, I need to support students that are in help of anything that they need when it comes to gaming, whether it's renting equipment, checking out stations, giving them any kind of a copy of a game that they might need for the different systems, and helping fix any errors that I can on my end. Obviously, I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to the hardware and software, but anything that I can help with, I'm here to help. And of course, I am here to help create a welcoming environment for students so that they know that they can come in if they have time between classes, if they have time after classes, and they don't necessarily have gaming materials at home, or if they want to do anything before classes. Anytime that they're on campus and they want to come to our area in the student center, I'm there to help create a welcoming environment and help them with anything they may need. The goals that I had coming into this internship were rather vague. I wasn't sure what to expect because this is a brand new program, hasn't been done at UMSL before. I've helped organize tournaments on the side before, but nothing in an official capacity. So I had pretty small, bare bones goals, I would say. I wanted to help create the fighting game community at UMSL and recruit members for the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate team specifically. That's the game that I've competed competitively at now for about, I want to say, 4 years since the first tournament that I went to, and I wanted to help build that team up specifically. I know that we've got other teams, but we're hoping to get other people involved that will help us recruit for these other teams. And Bobby Zhang, who is the coach currently for our esports program, is helping recruit people for the other teams at this moment. I also wanted to learn what goes into creating and organizing an esports team behind the scenes. I've been working at the student recruitment and student engagement offices at the student center for the last couple of months, and I'm hoping to continue to work there going into the fall. And I feel like I just wanted to see what goes in from a social media perspective, creative perspective, everything that goes into creating an esports team, I wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to know what went into it and how I could potentially network through that. Speaking of networking, I wanted to make connections with the various departments in the main offices at UMSL. I wanted to talk to everybody from social media, marketing, etc., just so that I had options and people to talk to, and maybe if I wanted to explore any avenues like marketing or social media, I could do that through UMSL, or they could get me into contact with people that could help me out. And I also wanted to organize the launch event for Triton Esports. I wanted to be in charge of the launch event. I wanted to help see this thing get off the ground, and I'm hoping that I will be able to help out with a successful launch. Things that I learned. Department heads rarely act alone. I've seen social media, marketing, all kinds of people come into Bovie's office during the day and talk to him about various different things, whether it's budget, whether it's how we're going to advertise this on social media, branding of the program. I've seen a million different people come through, and I've realized that the coach of a program, I know that it's significantly different when it comes to Division One, AA sports, like, you know, football at the University of Alabama, just as a well-known example. Nick Saban doesn't really have to worry about advertising and all that other stuff. That's handled by other people. It's the same way down here at the Division II level with esports. We're not even working with the NCAA. We're actually working with the NACE, which is I believe it's the National Association of Collegiate Employees, which is completely outside of my realm of knowledge. I didn't even know that it existed until I started this internship. Networking, like anywhere else, is key. I've been talking to all these different people. I've been learning different things about what they do. Basically just shaking hands with everybody that I can and talking to them about what their responsibilities are and how they're helping contribute to this esports launch. Budgeting in the world of college sports is a huge challenge, like especially when we're just trying to get tables, desks, chairs, all this other stuff to put in the space so that people can play video games. Just looking at all these different areas where we have to try and cut costs or where we can spend extra money, especially because there's this weird rule that the college has where we have had to locate, we have to get 3 quotes for anything that we want to buy. So if we're buying desks, as an example, to house consoles or something, we have to go out and we have to get 3 quotes from 3 different places as far as how much we're going to spend on these desks before the university will even consider approving the expenses. So having to do that for everything that we've bought has been a huge challenge that I've seen, and it's something that I didn't really anticipate encountering because I figured, you know, we have this whole thing, we budget this thing out, we go out, we find where we can get things from, and we spend the money and we acquire these things. So it's definitely something completely different that I figured out. And when it comes to contacting people and recruiting for things like that, sometimes you have to be aggressive. Sometimes you have to outright direct message people, contact them on their Twitter, on their social medias. Just find a way to contact people that works, and that is what you use to get into contact with people. And it's been interesting because I know that, you know, these people have other things to do with their time, but sometimes you just got to shoot a Twitter DM and hope that they reply. Major takeaways. Collecting business cards and contact information. I walked in the first day, and Bovie, sitting on his desk in there, had business cards and contact information for almost everyone else working in the office. If you want to know who you have to contact, and if you want to make connections within and know your workforce, know the people that you're working with, collecting business cards is your friend, because if you ever need something from social media and you don't know who's in charge of social media, bam, you have a reference and you know who to contact. And it can be an extremely helpful practice. If something seems too ambitious, try it anyway. If you don't think that you can do it, you won't know until you try. You should try every avenue when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to seeing what the university will take. Start at the top. Start where you think that you can go, and then dial it back. Let the university dial it back for you, or let whoever is in charge dial it back for you. Give them your best shot, and if that is not something that they want to take, let them tell you that. Don't think to yourself, oh, this isn't going to work, they're never going to say yes to it. Try it and see if they say yes, and go with it that way. If they say no, see where they're willing to cut back to. If they say yes, boom, your best idea just got accepted. People that are trying to create a better environment for students don't always know how to, and I figured this out simply just by talking to people around the building. Most of these people don't have a clue about esports in the modern age, which is a huge concern that Dr. Boleska actually voiced to me when I was originally trying to sign up for this internship, is that do these people know what they're talking about when it comes to esports? And the answer to that is, quite frankly, no. A lot of these guys know what goes into marketing, what goes into branding, and that can be universally applied. But when it comes to the specifics of esports, a lot of times these people don't know exactly what a lot of times these people need to be told what's going on in the modern age, and you have to kind of not necessarily hold their hand, but kind of bring them along in what exactly people in esports are looking for. And starting things ground up is almost an amateur vibe. That doesn't mean it's unprofessional. It's just really, really hard to get things off the ground because it doesn't feel like you're a professional when you're sitting in a cubicle trying to dissect things and figure them out. But your hope is that it'll work out at the end of the day, and sometimes taking shots is just something that you have to try. Things that I've grown on and learned, practice people skills when reaching out to skilled players. There are a lot of people that we've tried to reach out to that were either part of other colleges, other organizations, but we still reached out to them anyway, even if it was just to get a shot down. Again, that all goes back to take your best shot, and if they tell you no, they tell you no. Being prepared to utilize techniques learned in the classroom, which is something that I wasn't expecting because I have had to go out and do Google searches and collect data into spreadsheets over the summer. And back when we did that for the city project, I never thought I would have to do that again in sports. I did not anticipate immediately needing to utilize that skill again. Don't expect the new guy in town to know everything he needs to, and your knowledge of the area is bigger than you think. That all dials back to the guy, or Bovey, the guy in charge, came here from Florida, and before that he had bounced around the entire country, didn't really know anything about Missouri, and didn't know anything about the esports scene in the state, other than Maryville was the team to beat. So I had to explain a lot of things about this city and about how we were going to find people and what all was of interest to the people in this area to somebody in a way that I didn't think, because he's way higher up than me. He's salaried, he's being paid to do this, and I didn't expect my knowledge of St. Louis as a whole to come into play the way that it did. Advice for new and returning students. As always, pay attention to the presentations and advice Dr. Boleska gives. If she gives us a project, there's a reason for it. I've realized more than ever that if she gives us a project, odds are you're going to have to use that skill again in the future. No task is too tall. If you take it on, you'll learn more that way. And especially in smaller programs, the more hats that you wear, the better you are. You're just adding tools to the toolbox is the way that I see it. Take charge where you can and make things your own. If you have an opportunity to flex your creative muscle and give your thoughts and opinions, take advantage of it. Don't just shut up and go along with whatever's going on. Add your input. It's useful to whoever's in charge. Even if they don't like it, that's one thing that they don't want to hear again. And like I said with the city project, things that you think might not apply might just come in handy down the line. And that's my internship. I'm sorry for the lack of pictures. I have done a lot of desk work this semester, so there hasn't really been a whole lot to take pictures of. I have brands and I have PDFs and things of that nature that I could try to take from what I've been sent by Bovey. But I mean, I just haven't really had a whole lot of pictures taken because there's not a whole lot of physical work that I've had to do yet. A lot of it has been a desk job. It's a lot of boring stuff here at the beginning, but hopefully going into the future there's more available. And thank you guys for watching.